Hi, I'm Andy. Welcome to my channel. This is the place to be if you want to make the most from your money, whether that's making money, saving money, or better managing your money. Now, today's video is focusing on one which is going to help you make a little bit of money on the side. And it involves something called a reward current account. Now, I talk about bank accounts quite a lot here on the channel. I review them from time to time, and every single month I do a rundown of the latest promotions and offers you can get if you were to change your bank or open an additional bank account. Now that ranges from things such as switching bonuses to cashback on your bills. But one of the sections that I do talk about is something called a reward current account. Now there are a handful of banks that offer this, and essentially it is a specific account where if you open that account, sign up to it, they will give you a reward in return for you being a customer. That could be a cash payment that's made into your account every month, or it could be a freebie like a cinema ticket or a magazine subscription. Some of them actually let you add the reward function onto a normal account. So they're not technically reward current accounts, but it's a reward scheme you can get with your bank. So they're the ones I'm going to talk about today. I'll take you through them all to let you know what the pros and cons are of those different reward accounts and help you decide whether you want to have one of them, two of them, three of them, maybe 4 or 5 of them, because you can have as many accounts as you want. You don't need to switch. That's the important thing about these rewards. None of them require a switch to get that reward every single month. You can just open up an additional account, and there's no harm in doing that. I've actually got quite a few current accounts. In total, I've got, I think it's 15 now. I'm not quite sure. I've lost count a little bit. Obviously, don't use them all day to day, but I have got most of these reward accounts. These are the ones that I'll go through with you. This is the Lloyds, Club Lloyds account. We then have the Halifax Rewards account. We have Barclays, which has the Blue Rewards, which is an add-on to its normal current account. We have Natwest Rewards, so that's another account. RBS Rewards is the same, essentially. I had the Natwest one. And finally, TSB. Now, I don't actually have the new TSB Spend and Save account, but I can take you through it. The other one, which I don't have a card for, is the Coop Rewards. Again, the Coop Rewards is an add-on to a normal Coop current account. So they're the ones I'll take you through. But before we do that, maybe I'll give you a little bit of an idea of how these reward accounts work. And one of the most important things to realise that to get this freebie, this free cash, this tickets, whatever they might be, you do have to pay an annual fee, actually a monthly fee, I should say. Every single month, a fee will come out of your account. Now, a couple of them let you cancel that out if you pay a certain amount of money in. So actually, it's not really a problem for most of us. Others, you have to take that into account. So if it says you're going to get £5 every month, but the fee is £3, then you're only really getting £2, things like that. So I'll go into those details later on, but you've got to bear in mind, these are fee-paying accounts, and if you don't meet those criteria that let you avoid it, then you're going to get charged that as well. So do consider that when you're looking at these. There can be additional requirements as well. So this could be, I mentioned, sort of paying money in to avoid that fee, but you might also have to pay out 2 direct debits, 4 direct debits every single month in order to qualify for that reward. You might have to use your debit card and spend on that. There are all sorts of things. So it's not a simple case here of just opening an account and letting it sort of sit there and you take in those freebies. No, you're going to have to sort of do a little bit of admin early on, but you can automate it. You can make it sort of do it in the background so you don't have to worry too much about it. But that's a really important thing. So you've got a fee, sometimes you can avoid that, and there will be requirements in order to qualify for that reward. When you get that reward, sometimes it goes straight into your account, and they're the easiest ones. It just gets paid in, perfect, it's there. Others, you have to go into a separate kind of rewards wallet and then transfer the money over, which is a bit of a faff. You need to remember to do that every single month. It's a bit annoying, but again, not completely worth avoiding doing it for that. And others are things you claim them. You claim a freebie at the start of the year and it gets sent through to you every single month, or if it's a one-off thing, it might just happen at the start of the year. But those are the kind of things you have to bear in mind. Sometimes you do a little bit of work as well in order to make sure that money or those freebies are with you so you can use them. And finally, most of them do also want you to use the online banking or the app. So if you're not comfortable with that, and I'm sure most of us are now, then these aren't going to be for you, because most of them, they do want you to make sure at least once a month you're in there. But you should be doing that anyway, just checking your balance, making sure things are okay. If it's not your main bank account, just checking things are okay. It's easy to make sure you do that. And also it's a good time to transfer that money over if you need to. Right, they're the basics. Let's get into the details of all those different accounts. And I'll start with the ones which I think are best. So if you are only thinking about having one reward account, start at the top. If you're willing to try more than 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, then you can work your way down and work your way through them. I should say that in terms of reasons to get these, there are some potentially better reasons to change your bank or open a new account. Those bank switching bonuses that I mentioned again, they could be a much more valuable reward to you in the short term, if not the long term. Likewise, things like an overdraft where you're not paying any interest on a small buffer, that could be more important to you in terms of avoiding costs and other things. So let's start off with the one I think is probably the best one. It's touch and go between this and the Halifax, I'll get into in a minute, but it's the Lloyds, the Club Lloyds account. Now the reason I've put this number one, why I think it is the best reward account, is because you can get this and not really have to worry about anything. It's really easy to get. There is a £3 a month fee, but as long as you pay in £1,500 every single month, that fee is wiped out. Really, really simple. And again, if you don't have that £1,500, say from your salary coming in, you can pay in 500, take it out, pay in that same 500 again, take it out, pay back in another £500. You do that ideally with another bank account you've got, because I always say you should have more than one bank account. So do that. That fee is completely gone. And then you will get a choice of freebies. Now the freebies actually right now aren't so good because of what's going on in the world with COVID, because you can either get 6 free cinema tickets, which let's face it, aren't great to use, or you can get a monthly movie rental at Rakuten. So it's worth £4.50. Every month you get a free rental. That's actually not a bad one right now, but you've got to bear in mind there aren't many new releases coming out. Or if those ones don't appeal to you, you're not a film fan, you can get a magazine subscription. That's what I actually did on my subscription last time. I got a year's Empire subscription, although it's not worth as much as the movie rentals or the cinema tickets. Movie rentals weren't available at the time, and the cinema, well, there wasn't one of those cinemas near me. So I went with the magazine, and it's nice to have that. I like to read it every single month, although there are ways to get it for free by going to your library and get digital copies. But they're the main ones. You can also get a dining card, but I wouldn't bother with that. That's number one, because it's really easy to get. Lloyds often does a cash switching bonus as well. So you can switch over, get that 100 quid, and then get that bonus for the next year. In the past, I've actually switched away from Lloyds and still got my magazine throughout the whole 12 months. They didn't cancel it, but I can't promise you that would happen with, say, the cinema tickets or the movie rentals. So you might be worth just sticking with that account. And then the year comes around again, and you can order, you can change what rewards you're going to have, what lifestyle benefit they call it. So that's my number one, is Lloyds. You can have 2 of these potentially, one for yourself and one in a joint name. So actually you could have 3, because if your partner's got one, you've got one each, and you've got a joint account. So that's really easy, and that money, that £1,500, can always circulate between you all. Although I think you probably can't send it from your personal account to the joint account. You could easily send it to your partner, and he or she could send it back to you. So my next choice, for some people, it's probably better than Lloyds. In fact, it is better than Lloyds. You get more for your money, but it's a little bit more hassle to get the rewards every single month. It's the Halifax Rewards account. Now this one changed this year. It used to be very different. Now you have to jump through a few hoops to get your return, but what you get is better. So this one also has a £3 fee every single month, but you can avoid that, as you can with Lloyds, by paying in £1,500 every single month. So you can have both of these. That same £1,500 moves from your main account to your Lloyds, to your Halifax, back to your main account. And once more, again, you can have a personal account and a joint account. So again, if there's 2 of you, there's 3 accounts across your household, because you can have that reward with each one of those. Now the rewards here are better. As I say, you can get a cash one for a start, £5 every single month. So it's worth 60 quid, bang on. If you want just the money, spend it how you want. That's a great one to go for. That is what I've gone for this year. You can also get double the number of cinema tickets or movie rentals than you would get with the Lloyds account. So that's 12 cinema tickets or 24 movie rentals. Again, you get them every single month. They're spaced out. You don't get them all in one go. Again, the reason I went for the cash this time was because, well, I'm not going to cinema and there aren't so many new movies available to rent. But they are good ones to look at, and you will save yourself a fair amount of money. You can also get that magazine subscription there, but rather than a physical magazine, it's a digital subscription, and you can get 3 of those every single month, 3 different titles. Again, you choose it at the beginning of the year, and that's what you've got for the next 12 months. Personally, I don't think the magazine subscription option is very good here, because if it's a digital one, well, you may as well get it for free from your library. And again, I've got another video about how to do that, so check that out if you're after free magazines every single month. Now, that all sounds pretty simple, doesn't it? Here's where that hoop you have to jump through comes from. To get the reward every single month, you have to make sure your account is in credit every single day. So it can't go overdrawn at all, not one single day. And then you've got a choice of 2, and you have to select, again, at the start of that year, which one of these 2 methods you're going to go for. One of them is to have £5,000 in that account every single day of the month to get that £5 or whatever the reward is. If you go £1 under, 1 day a month, it's gone. And if you want it for the whole year, that's £365 days, 366 in a leap year, where you have to have that £5,000 sitting there. Now, if you look at it as an interest rate, it gives you 1.2%, which actually isn't too bad right now, the way rates are going. But there is a better way of getting that money, and that is to use your debit card. Now, it requires a £500 spend every single month on your debit card. You might be thinking, hang on, Andy, don't you always tell us to use a cashback credit card if you can? And you know what? I do tell you that. That's what I use. It's why at the beginning I wasn't a fan of this account. However, you can pay off your cashback credit card, your American Express, your John Lewis and Partners, your Amazon Platinum, whatever it might be, with your Halifax Rewards debit card. So as long as you've spent £500 on your cashback credit card in a month, you use your debit card to pay that off and you get the reward. So really, yes, it's an extra hoop to jump through, but it's not too much. Just put a note in your diary. That's what I've got the start of the month. I make sure I go in and I pay off some of my credit card, which I've done all my normal spending with that debit card. So I get my cash back on my Amex, and I also get my £5 monthly reward from Halifax. So it's probably better than the Lloyds one. In fact, it is better than the Lloyds one, but you've just got to bear in mind that's an extra hoop every month. You will have to do something, whereas with Lloyds, set it up, that money comes in and out, leave it in the background. You don't have to worry at all until 12 months later, you have to choose a new reward. They're the top two. And in fact, in most cases, they're the only two I would bother with right now. So here's the next one, which you might want to consider. In fact, probably the only time you want to consider this is if there's a switching bonus. And it does happen quite regularly. At the time of recording this, Natwest has just started a £125 switching bonus, and RBS has got a £100 one. You can switch into the account, it means closing another one. But you do that, get that cash, it's worth doing it for that. And then once you've done that, if you don't want to switch the account again to get a bonus elsewhere, or you've got another account you can switch to get a bonus elsewhere, then you might want to stick with your account. The Natwest Reward, I've had it for a long time, and the reason I had it before, it used to be really good, but it changed early in 2020. It used to give you cash back on your bills, your household bills, same way that Santander 123 Lite does. I went with Natwest because it worked out slightly better for me. Anyway, they stopped that. Now they give you a £5 reward every single month instead, which sounds great, but there is a £2 fee every single month, which you can't avoid at all. Whatever happens, you're paying that £2 fee. So really, you're getting £3 every single month, £36 a year. It's not, I don't think it's worth jumping through hoops just to get it. If you're getting that cash bonus, let's say, then you may as well stick with it to get that 36 quid. But otherwise, don't worry about it. I wouldn't bother at all. There are criteria as well on top of this, though, to get that reward. It's not just the fee. You have to have 2 direct debits of at least £2 coming out of that account. Now, for most people, I don't think that's going to be a problem. We pay all our bills by direct debit pretty much. And if you don't have the Santander 123 account, well, 123 Lite is the better one, where you get cash back on your bills, as I mentioned just now, you've got all of those direct debits to use. But even if you do have a 123 Lite, I'm sure you've got other direct debits. The main thing here is obviously the money has to come out every single month, because you only get the reward in the months the direct debit comes out. So it has to be an active direct debit in the sense that every month it is being paid out. Obviously, you could, if you wanted to, if you don't have any spare direct debits, you could set up new ones for like a charity donation, which is all very nice. But bear in mind here, if you're setting up a £2 direct debit and you're setting 2 of those, that's £4 in direct debits to charities, if you're just sticking with the minimum. But you're only really getting £3 back. Really what you're getting there is £3 towards charity, which is a lovely thing to do. It's money from the bank, which you're kind of Robin Hood style, taking it from them and giving it to a worthy cause. But really, I don't think it's worth going through the hassle just to do that every single month. You've got to make sure that money is in the account to pay those direct debits. But actually, do you know what? If you give money to charity already, this is a very good way of harnessing them to get a little bit of cash on top. And I would suggest, obviously, £2 is the minimum. If you're giving to charity, give it as much as you can. But that's the NatWest and the RBS Rewards account. They work in exactly the same way. One thing that is worth talking about there, which I do find quite useful, which is why I haven't switched away from this account, is that you can, as you can with most accounts now, Halifax have it, Lloyds have it, Santander have it, HSBC have it, Nationwide and First Direct have stopped theirs. But you do have a separate cashback system, reward system. It's completely separate. Essentially, if you pay for something with your debit card on a participating retailer, you'll get some money back. Now, I've only used this a few times. Generally, the offers aren't great, but I have used them for things like Now TV. It's one of the places where you can often get between 15 and 25% off. Useful when I'm buying a one-day sports pass to watch the football just for one day. And I've used it on things like Beer 52 before, where there's been like 50% off. And obviously you can, because you're paying with your debit card, you can combine that with cashback sites and other promotions as well. So there is that as a nice little extra, but it's not a reason to get that. Really, only get that, as I say, if you are going to get that cash bonus to switch over, and then you're going to stick with it and get that money just as a little bit extra, as long as you really have those spare direct debits. Now the next one is the Barclays account. Now this is just a normal Barclays current account, as I mentioned, but you can add on to this the Blue Rewards. So if you already have a Barclays account, if you're watching this right now and you've got Barclays and you don't have Blue Rewards, add it on. You're missing out on free money, okay? It's really easy to do. You basically can get up to £7 every single month, but there is a £4 monthly fee. So again, like with the Natwest Rewards, you're really looking at £3 every month, £36 in the year. To get it, you need to have 2 direct debits. So you basically get £3.50 per direct debit. So if you only have one of those direct debits coming out every month, you'll get £3.50. If you have both, you'll get £7. And then the £4 obviously gets knocked off that. Now this is one, like NatWest, this is another one of those accounts, both of them in fact, where the money is paid into a separate rewards wallet, so you have to transfer it over. It's a bit of faff you have to bear in mind, because otherwise you can just sit there and you can forget it's there. Transfer it back to your account, and then you can transfer it anywhere else you want. Now you rarely get a switching bonus with Barclays. Sometimes what they do is they offer you double Blue Rewards if you switch. So that's when I got this account a few years ago. There was double rewards. So I actually got £14 every single month for that first 12 months. Obviously knocked that £4 off, but that was worth 120 quid over a year. So it was well worth doing that. Now it's gone back down after that first year to the normal thing. So I just let it sit there. £7 pops into my account every month, and that's it. I just leave it. I let it sort of carry on. There are no other kind of requirements for this one, just those direct debits. You don't have to pay any money in. So it's, as long as you've got the money there to cover those 2 direct debits, it just manages itself in the background. It's a really easy one to go for. Again, it's up to you whether you want to wait. Personally, I think it's probably best wait and see if they bring back that double rewards for switching over before jumping in as an additional account. So they're numbers 3 and 4, worth considering certainly. The next 2, I think really are a bit more extreme. And I think for most of us, they're not going to work for a very, very big reason. You have to make a huge number of transactions with your debit card. Now, the first of these is the Co-op Everyday Rewards account. Like Barclays Blue Rewards, this is an add-on to a standard Co-op current account. So Co-op Bank, you've got your account, you can add it on. Now there's no monthly fee, so there's no harm adding it on actually, because you're not going to lose out if you don't meet the other requirement. You may as well have it set there to the account. But to get the rewards, you have to jump through far more hoops than any of the others. First of all, you need to have 4 direct debits, 4. Now, if you have got that Santander 123 Lite account, you're going to be struggling now to find some additional ones to have 4 of them. But you might have them. You might have these spare ones, or so you might want to set up others, but it's 4 that you need for this account. You also need to pay in £800 every single month. And like you do with most of the others, you do have to check your online banking once a month as well. Do that, wait for it, you'll get £2 every single month, £24 a year. Not a huge amount at all. But you can top that up a little bit more if you use your debit card. You get 5p added to your account each time you use it. So use it 10 times, that's 50p extra on top. It's capped at £3, so it's a maximum use of 60 times in a month to get that full £5. Realistically, particularly right now when we're not going out and spending our money as much, to spend on our cards 60 times a month, I think is going to be quite unrealistic. And also to do that just to get an extra £3 a month, it feels like a bit much. I personally not bothered with it because of that. It's not something I'm going to sort of spend my time doing. I don't think it's worthwhile. Of course, if Co-op is your bank anyway, you don't have anybody else, any other accounts or cashback current accounts or cashback credit cards or anything like that, you just use your debit card with Co-op, then that might be more achievable. But I still think 60 is quite a lot every single month to use your debit card for. I guess you could, if you really wanted to, break things down into single transactions, but that's a little bit of an overkill, I think, just to get a few quid. Now the other one is with TSB. Now this is actually one of the old accounts that's just been replaced. I've got a Classic Plus account. They've stopped that, they've closed that to new customers. And in fact, it's going to be worthless to pretty much everyone from early December because the interest rate will be cut to 0. They've replaced it with something called the Spend and Save account. Now this is bottom of the list for me because I think it's probably the worst of all the reward offerings. I'm not sure why anyone would choose to move to that account unless perhaps they really desperately wanted to stay with TSB and then wants to move over from that Classic Plus. Actually, I have thought of a reason. You can get £50 cash back if you go via the cashback site Quidco. So there are terms and conditions there. It does require a bit more jumping through hoops to get that £50 bonus, but you might want to do that. And I'll have more information about how to get that in the notes below. But let's just talk about the account regardless of that £50 extra or not. Now you will get £5 cash back to this account, so it sounds pretty good. There's no fee. Sounds great, right? Why do I not like this? Well, that cash back is only for 6 months. The most you're going to get is 30 quid from it. And to do it, you have to make 30 debit card payments every single month. So 30, it's not realistic. I think once a day use your debit card, maybe, but you're jumping through all these hoops to get it. I don't think it's worthwhile at all. Of course, if you're with TSB and you want to stay with TSB, you may as well get it. But I think 30 transactions is just too many for just 6 months. So there you have it. They are the top 6 reward current accounts right now. Do you think you're going to get them? Are any of them for you? Personally, I would recommend taking advantage of the Club Lloyds and the Halifax Rewards ones if you're willing to sort of jump through those hoops of having money paid in. Again, you can set up standing orders so that money circulates around. And again, with that Halifax one, just make sure you use it to pay off your cashback credit card if you've got one of those. If not, just your normal spending, as long as you hit that £500. Well worth doing. Personally, time it though. They both have had cash bonuses for switching into them in the last few months. You can still get the Lloyds one at the time of recording. Obviously, you might be watching this months later and things have changed. But you may as well get another 100 quid or so for opening that account and then take advantage of those rewards. So just keep an eye. I will let you know on this channel when those reward bonuses come back. More details over in the blog as well. But they're worth considering definitely. And then you've got them also alongside your other accounts. In fact, if there isn't a switching bonus for these banks on right now, and you haven't got an account you can switch, open up an account somewhere else, somewhere you don't care about, have that one ready to switch over so you can use that one to keep switching and getting these bonuses and getting these rewards, maybe more than that. The others, really, I wouldn't bother them unless there is a switching bonus that gives you enhanced rewards or that cash at the beginning, and then maybe you'll want to consider getting them. I've got a lot of these, but right now, if I had a choice, I would only have the Lloyds and the Halifax. I would not bother with any of the others at all. The other thing to consider, if you're an existing customer with any of these banks and you don't want to move to someone else, then you may as well take advantage of this as well. So you are sort of claiming that money, particularly if you are a Barclays customer. Finally though, just want to sort of reiterate the fact that although you can get money from these, you can get freebies from them, they aren't always the best accounts. So you do need to consider what other alternatives are out there. And I've gone through them today. I've talked about those bank switching bonuses, the cashback on your bills, overdrafts, things like that. You might actually just want to make sure you've got a bank which helps you understand your money more. Things like Starling and Monzo. They might be more important to you than just getting 36 quid a year. So do make sure you check out the other videos on this channel which take you through some of those different options for you. Now, if this video has been useful to you in any way, if you think it has saved you money or made you money in any way at all, I've got a couple of favours to ask from you. First of all, please hit that like button and leave a comment. It really makes a difference. YouTube likes that. It sees it as a good signal. This is a good, useful video, and it means it will share it and show it to more people. In fact, if you want to share it with your friends and family as well, that would be lovely. Secondly, if you haven't already, please do hit that subscribe button and a little notification bell that pops up, because that means you won't miss out on any other videos. Again, all designed to help you make the most from your money. Until next time, cheers. And here are a couple more videos you might find interesting.